This episode is proudly brought to you by Lululemon. Lululemon are a brand known for yoga, but as we know, their run gear is technical, highly functional, and built to last run after run through the seasons. Check the collection out at lululemon.com.au.
Being a skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place?
Welcome to episode number 242 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Big show coming at you because we'll be talking about two Australian records that happened in the last week. Some Diamond League results there. New South Wales and Victoria had some cross-country stuff going on. And we're just under 2 weeks away from the Gold Coast Marathon. So, there'll be a bit of talk about that, no doubt, throughout the episode. Welcome to my co-host up in Canberra, Brad Croker. Welcome to you.
Thanks, Brady. How you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. You getting nervous? 13 days out?
No, not really. I'm looking forward to having sort of 2 weeks now of pretty light training. Because the last 6 weeks has been pretty solid, other than a week there where I had a little bit of a niggle. But the key now will be not to get sick. We got two pretty sick kids in the house. I haven't been to daycare for the last week, and they're up middle of the night with coughing fits. So Viv and I are okay at the moment, but hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, it's a bit around, isn't there?
There is.
It's happening. Another co-host, the man down in Anglesea, Julian Spence. Welcome to this week's show.
Thanks. Yeah, I copped a bit of that sickness last week, actually. Pretty, flu-y type stuff. Bree got real sick as well. Testing for COVID every day, but it wasn't, all negative.
Yeah, there's so much going around. Collis went to the doctor and had a COVID test, and he's got, ulcers on his tongue, and, it's not good.
Poor kid, yeah, that's no good at all. And it's like that when you're this close out to a race as well. You're just trying to avoid it and get to the start line, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just difficult because this is when you're at your peak fitness. It's also when you're most susceptible to the illnesses.
Yeah, and the problem when you got kids, you can't avoid, you got to wipe their nose. There's so much bodily fluid that's coming out of them that you just... you can't wash your hands all day.
No.
So, but hopefully they've just got some sort of cold, and obviously kids' immunity is probably not quite as strong. So, yeah, fingers crossed we stay okay for the next couple of weeks.
You wearing an N95 mask?
No, I haven't been. Well, because even at school now, we don't have to wear masks at school anymore.
You still wear one though?
No, I don't.
See, I've never taken mine off.
I'd be wearing it if I were you.
Yeah.
2 weeks out for a marathon, I'm telling all my guys, you just mask up now.
Yeah. There's nothing to lose.
Yeah.
By wearing it. There's
I think sometimes
preparation. But yeah.
I think then sometimes though you can over stress about getting sick and you almost get sick because you're so stressed about not wanting to get sick. But but anyway, we're all good at the moment.
Anyway, it's been a big week as well, boys. I'm looking forward to talking to you about it all. We'll start with you though, Croaks. Tell us about your week, your training week.
So Monday, I was actually a little bit tired from the travel. I got home Sunday night at 10:15, and my legs were actually, although I still ran decent pace on the Monday, my legs were definitely a bit heavy and a little bit of just domsy type stuff, but it only really lasted for a day after Launceston. So I did an hour around lunchtime, 4:14s. Then Tuesday I did 75 minutes in the morning, so just under 18k out at Mulligan's, and then that afternoon I jumped on the treadmill. It was Canberra was 5 degrees, so I had 4 layers on, and tights and like a beanie and like a little heater. Look, I don't think the heat's going to be a factor really for Gold Coast. Like, you're going to be finished at 8:30. So, and I've never found the heat to be an issue in the past for the marathon, like for when I've paced the marathon. But I thought, I'll just try and put some extra clothes on just to get a sweat up, because in Canberra when it's cold, like, you just don't sweat. And I think there's some science to it that like your sweat glands just sort of become a bit inactive. Whereas if I can actually just get them working again, it might help me if it was to be like a freaky hot day. So I just did 8K on the treadmill at 4:37s. I never got like I definitely was sweating, but like I wouldn't say my heart rate got super high, or it didn't feel that intense. So that was Tuesday. So I didn't do I didn't do a session because coming off that pretty big Sunday, I didn't end up doing a session until the Friday. So then Wednesday after work, I went and did 2 hours. Just wanted to get sort of one more decent midweek long run in. So 4:02s for 2 hours. Then Thursday, just my normal sort of 45-minute loop, 4:16s. Friday morning, went out for a lap of Mulligans, 4:16s for 7.5K. And then my first session for the week was just my treadmill, 6x6 minutes, 18.5K an hour, which is 3:15s. Wore the heart rate strap for that. So I think averaged like high 150s for the reps. Got to make like low 160s sort of as the highest. So nothing special there, just ticked it off. And then Saturday, just another double. So I did an hour in the morning, 4:15s, and then that afternoon I did the same thing that I did on the Tuesday with the extra layers, but the difference was it was like 15 degrees in Canberra that day, so the garage in the afternoon was actually quite warm, so I definitely sweated a bit more, but still, like, I didn't wear my heart rate strap, but it was it certainly wasn't super difficult. And then my last, I guess, big sort of long run for this sort of marathon prep, which normally, like, if I had done a traditional marathon prep, I wouldn't have actually done this run 2 weeks out. Like, I normally have my last big one 3 weeks out, but I haven't really done a lot of marathon specific stuff. So I thought I could get away with doing something reasonably solid with 2 weeks to go. So I did 25K. So I parked at Yerrabee Pond, did 25K out around sort of Mulligan. So like a few hills, nothing super crazy. Came back to the car, changed the shoes, and did 8K, which is like 2 laps of Yerrabee Pond at around sort of 3:15s, and then 2.5K cool down. So ended up running about 35.5K in 3:51 average overall. I made the same mistake that you make with your Coros, Brady. I had 2 watches on for the day. I had my the Garmin music one, so I could listen to music, but then I had the Coros because I thought, Coros is probably a little bit more accurate. And then I'm 400 metres up the road and I realised that the Coros hadn't started. So then started it. The file that's on Strava is the Coros one, which missed about 400 metres. So, it was pretty solid. Like, my biggest week in like a long time, just under 166K, which, for the last, I reckon 10 days up until end of yesterday, I'd done like probably 240K. So look, like I feel tired, like I feel strong. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like, definitely feel like I've run a lot in the last 10 days, but my legs feel really, really strong. Like I didn't feel super tired even at the end of that run yesterday. Probably more just like glycogen depleted. Like I took 2 gels on that whole run, which is not a lot. And I think with the amount that I've run over the last 10 days, my glycogen stores are probably quite low anyway. So just having the 2 gels is probably just enough to maintain it without feeling like super fresh from an energy point of view. But in terms of how my legs felt, I was pretty happy with that. So I'm pretty much done now. I'll just probably 120K this week, 2 sort of lightish sessions, and then something real light next week for the race.
Hayes in the barn.
Pretty much.
That's good. Any communication yet with the race pace? Who you got?
No, nothing.
I did see Lindsay Flanagan put on her Instagram that she's coming out to do it, 226 American lady. So I think she could be your one.
And Steph Bruce?
Yeah,
Rothstein Bruce?
I haven't seen anything from her, but I also heard that she was coming as well.
Yeah, I saw something on social media. Okay. Said she was coming, yeah.
It'd be good if they announced this stuff, wouldn't it?
Like, yeah, I would have thought...
Hype? Does it usually happen before this?
Well, normally Gold Coast are pretty late in announcing their elite fields, but it's one thing that the major marathons do really well is like they announce who's coming like quite a long way out. Like, Kipchoge's running Berlin or, Valencia this year. You've got Gide, which is, 6 months away, but you know that she's running that race. So it would be good to, get a bit more hype around the event.
Much bigger names in the sport, but I still think they could do it, 5-6 weeks out, just to build that engagement.
Yeah, I agree.
Get people excited. Let the pacer know who he's pacing. All those kind of things.
Yeah. Helpful for the podcast if they do that.
Well, we're also trying to promote their event. And I suppose there's not many people, talking about running in Australia in the media, but yeah, it'd be nice to know.
So maybe hopefully this time next week we'll know more.
I said that about the Commonwealth Games and World Championships teams last week. Still haven't heard anything about that. That's a good week, Bradley. You're strong. Just don't get sick. And you'll be, I guess we need to wait. Yeah, next week we need to know what pace you're going through at.
Yeah, through halfway.
That's going to dictate your race, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you potentially leave, how fast you're going to kick it down to pull in some of these fellas that are aiming for 220, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping it's the quicker pace. Just because, I feel like that's already like a decent, like 2:23:30 feels like it's solid as it is. And so you don't have to kick down a lot to run then low 220s. Whereas I feel like when you're on 225 pace, it's a pretty big kick down and it's probably not my strength at the moment, is like that speed. So anyway, I guess I'll find out in the next week.
Maybe
what's that then? So you go through 70. Say you get the 72:30 pace.
Yeah.
You would have to run 67:30 to run 220.
Yeah, I can't run a 67:30 off that at the moment. Like that 67:30 is too quick for me, and that's
in the second half.
Yeah, in the second half. Whereas that 45 going through 45 seconds faster through halfway, you run then 69. And you're like, what's that, 221 then or something? No, what was that? 71.45. So it'd be like 220.45, wouldn't it? If you're around 69 off that.
69
it would
flat,
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is more doable. But yeah, even then, I'd be pretty stoked if I could run a 69 flat off the back. But we'll see.
It's hard to know, isn't it, how much damage it does to you going through in that 71.45 if you do get that one.
Yeah. So I'm more just interested to see how my legs go the back end because I have not run it from a time point of view. I think 2 hours 20 has been the longest I've run. I haven't done any of those. Look, yeah, I've done some solid long runs, but I haven't done your traditional, 4x5K or before BWA I did 2x8K a couple of times. I did 2x12K. But, I feel pretty strong at the moment.
Should explain to the listeners as well, part of your pacing job is you'll have different checkpoints to get to in certain times where you get paid. So you'll have your first one at halfway and then the option to go to 25, 30, 35.
Yeah, and they normally give you 15 seconds either side of the goal pay. So if they wanted me to go through 72:30, I'd pretty much have between 72:15 and 72:45, that sort of range.
You know, the year I did at Moose, how close I got to the pin?
Two seconds. What do you mean?
2 seconds over I was.
Were you the only pacer?
Yeah, Croaks was helping as well.
And this was after Troopy tore into shreds after 5K.
I feel like going over is a fail.
No, they give you, say it was 72, it's you can be 15 seconds under or over. But being over would be a fail. Mate, I was 25 seconds under the first 5K when Troopy was yelling at me.
Yeah, that's a fail.
Had to put the brakes on, yeah.
I think we were, I think back then, Brady, it was about 73 through halfway.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I reckon we were 73.02 or something like that. Yeah, did a good job that day. Oh, it's exciting. Moose, tell us what you've been doing. Getting sick, pulling out of races?
Yeah. So I had a bit of a horror week, to be honest. What did I start on? I had the Monday off because I ran on the Sunday. So let me just pull up where we're at. So it was the 13th of June that we started on. So I went for a bike ride. Haven't been on the bike for a while, so got out and then ran the next morning 10K. Actually felt pretty good. Seemed to run pretty fast and thought things were coming along. And then, the next day ran the same again, 10K. And pretty much exactly the same pace, just a tiny bit slower. Then I did start to feel a bit sicker after that. So that was the 15th. The 16th, I just wanted to string 3 days together. I hadn't done that yet in the build. So 3 consecutive days. We got the ASICS Metaspeed Sky sent to us. So I thought, I'll go test these out for just 20 minutes around the pavement. I didn't want to take them on the dirt because they were brand spankers and it was pissing rain. So I just ran on concrete for 20 minutes. And then I started to feel pretty shit, to be honest. So that was Thursday. And then Thursday night, actually, that was Thursday morning. So Thursday night, I was getting sick. But at the same time, like, my dog was getting sick as well. Like, that night, started throwing up and in the end had to stay up all night because we rushed him to the surgery clinic in Melbourne, like an emergency vet. And it was no good. Like, this was, so at about, I reckon it was 4:30 in the morning while the Diamond League was going on. I was sitting on the Macca's waiting for the vet to give us a call. But in it, his stomach had twisted, which is a problem big dogs get. Like they have like a soft. They said that his was probably some sort of pre-existing cancer that we didn't know about, or some esophageal thing. But in the end, like, they found his stomach was too damaged, and so they put him down.
Oh,
so it was
shit! Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
Oh, shit, Moose! I wasn't expecting that.
You were just talking about his dog like 2 weeks ago.
I know.
Trained him up. Yeah.
The dog featured a couple of weeks ago, and
he can display picture and stuff, isn't he? Somewhere in one of your social medias, don't you have your dog in there?
Maybe Facebook.
Yeah, I reckon.
Cedric.
Yeah.
Cedric. Yeah.
Oh,
so it sucks actually. He was 8 years old, so pretty good run for a big dog like that. They don't get the life that a small dog gets, but it just leaves a bit of a hole though. I don't know.
You just expect them being around, don't you? Like, just
like
weird.
Little things too, like tonight, like, finish your meal and you're like, I'll give the leftovers to the dog. Yeah.
Mate, I was not expecting that, even when you were telling the story.
Yeah, neither was I.
Yeah, but so I actually didn't sleep at all, and off the back of having sickness, like, I was fucked. Friday I was cooked, like, just totally spent. And then Saturday I woke up and I thought, yeah, I'll go to Cruden and I'll jog around. But Bree has also got really sick. Like, she has like mastitis, which is infection in the breast from like blocked ducts or whatever. And she got really ill from that, like fevers. And so I stayed home, looked after Pia a little bit. So I didn't make it, which was unfortunate because it looked like it was a good day out there. So that was. Well, I did jog 8K. Felt like shit. Felt like proper shit. I thought during that run, I'm like, 8K. This used to be my double, and it actually feels like a proper hard long run to me. So I knew I was in a bit of strife. And Sunday morning, I rode. There was a workout going on. So 2 weeks from Gold Coast? The crew had their last little sort of tempo. I rode with Jimmy, Friend, and Sim McGuinness, both running the marathon up there. Those guys will be around sort of the 240 pack. If there's a few out there, look around, you'll see a big bloke with a big beard and long hair, in Surf Coast singlet most likely, and Sim is a much smaller girl than Jim. But yeah, they had a good workout. The morning was epic for it. I just rode around and ran in the afternoon, ran 7.5K, and again, just like 7.5K is pretty far for me right now. I'm hoping it's the sickness as to why I feel this bad, but it's a bit worrying.
Sounds like me at the start of the year, Moose, like coming off COVID and the calf. Like I went out to the treadmill and I had it on 12K an hour, so 5-minute Ks, and I was running at that for like 3 minutes and my heart rate went through the roof. And it does feel like a long way back, but it's also quite rewarding then when you just see that progress.
Yeah.
Which you don't get when, like, you've experienced it. Like when you've been going well, when you string together like months on months on months, like you don't really see a lot of improvement once you're actually up and running well. It's more about just maintaining it and hoping that you then improve slowly over a long period of time. But when you're first coming back, you'll see pretty big gains early on.
Yeah, you do. But those months that you link up, when you get a little niggle and you have like 1 week off, 2 weeks off, you can come back pretty quick. Like you don't understand how unfit you can get after you have like a good 6 or 8 weeks off. But before that, when you're running, wasn't it like 160K a week? If you're having a rest of 40K a week, your fitness is still like on a big decline since when you were fit. Yeah. Like I feel like I'm getting more unfit running 40K a week because I'm still on a regression from when I was actually very good. But I don't know whether that's true or not. It just feels like that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your towers here, Moose. It's very looks like there's been a bulldozer through the town at certain points.
Yeah, it's not impressive tower. And that's including cycling as well.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Half of that is cycling right there. Gee, it looks good from October to January, though.
Last year, this year.
Last year. Oh, they're the sort of towers you want. Anyway. So, yeah, I got 40K in or just under. So, like, I'm consistent there. And let's see how this week goes. I'm running the relays, though, and if all goes to plan. That's at Murniong, St Anne's Winery, another St Anne's.
Yeah, they must have a deal with St Anne's, hey?
Pretty good deal from St Anne's, I reckon.
Yeah, opening up their vineyards, their paddocks. You going to be in your top team?
That's a good question,
Geelong
actually.
had a good result, up to 5th for Geelong.
5th place. We had a couple out as well. Like, we had a bloke get COVID. Hoffman got COVID, who would have been a scorer member.
Hoffman from Albury.
Oh, yeah, at Geelong fella. His mum lives in Bowen Head. His mum lives in Bowen Head.
Okay, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
You can't talk, Brady. I've got a Bendigo singlet in my cupboard.
Not this season, Croaks.
And you live in Echuca.
We're doing it all with locals this year. Yeah.
Anyway.
You guys had a good one. 5th?
No, I was proud of the fellas. I was like refreshing the results all day, and then I saw the team results, and I'm like, fucking 5th, you beauty. Like, that's a great result right there. That is a brilliant result for us. And I feel like there's a bit of buy-in happening, feeling like the guys are starting to get real, like, almost a loyalty to the team, which we're loving.
That's what you need. Culture. Expectation that you're going to be there. That kind of stuff.
Takes you from 7th to 5th in a week. That's what that does.
258 points. You nearly got 4th. Western Hayes as well, 245.
Yeah, that
would have been good.
That's the one man right there. That's the one man who goes up from 85th or whatever to 65th. There's our 20 points.
That's how it happens. I'll go through my week, A bit of an interesting week because I was coming off a race, so trying to recover. At the same time, I was trying to prep for a race, as in this race we're just talking about, the 12K cross country. And at the same time, I was trying to do a bit of training because my next A race is Gold Coast Half Marathon in, it's 3 weeks when this week started. So a bit of a mix there, trying to pull all three of those things off and kind of got there. I'm a bit kind of nasally, a bit sick at the moment, which maybe could be run down, and I haven't pulled it off. But Monday, 65 minutes easy, 4:39 pace. good to have a Queen's birthday holiday croaks after being away for the weekend.
It was good.
That was nice. Would have been shocking going back to work Monday after being away all weekend. And then 30 minutes in the afternoon at 4:37, just listening to the footy. Big win by the Collingwood Magpies. That was good to listen to when I was jogging along, beating the top 10.
I got 2 points on this one. Yep. 2 comments. Number A, that's not a number, that's a letter. Point A.
Yep.
Comment on your run. Started listening to Bat Chat. Anything with you in it is just really an enjoyable listen.
What a beautiful comment.
Second comment, I agree. I love his voice. Oh, what is this going on? This is making me nauseous.
I'm a bit off tonight, fellas. I'm a bit nasally, so it's a bit different tonight. But stick
Who
with
would
me.
love your voice? I don't understand.
It's a real beautiful voice for radio, isn't it? Real unique.
Second point.
Yep.
Jordan DeGoey, discuss. Where's your thoughts on this?
Haven't seen the video.
Forget the video. The man's in Bali at a nightclub during a season where he plays a professional sport.
Yeah.
Like, are we accepting that is an okay thing to do in the middle of your season? You're getting paid however many hundreds of thousands, perhaps $1 million. This guy, I don't know what he gets paid, but fucking hell, you're a professional athlete. Behave like one.
Dennis Rodman. Remember he used to do it for the Bulls?
He's not fucking Dennis Rodman. He's a bloke with a problem. And the guy gets an off-season. Go and do this shit in your off-season. Like, what about the 21 blokes that you're lining up with? Or how, like, every week going, oh, yeah, you went to Bali, you were pissed for 4 days straight. Who knows how much you slept, and now you're going to play next to me. And we're going to pay you, like, 50 grand per game. I just think that is so bullshit. And that is just a poor cultural thing. And imagine if a runner...
Yeah, you'd never expect that in our sport, would you?
But this is why I think a lot of this is the difference between team culture and an individual sport. And I saw the same thing at the AIS in terms of anyone that was there on scholarship as an individual athlete. So like your swimmers, like their level of dedication was way higher than like 90% of the team sports there, because I guess but I guess it's that thing. It's like, well, you've got no one else to rely on in an individual sport, and for sports like ours, it's you versus the clock, and so it's quite objective to know how well you're going. Whereas, I know they have a lot more stats in team sports now, but you can still have a great game individually and lose, and the opposite. You can have a shit game and your team still wins. So, I've always been fascinated or annoyed at how much a lot of team athletes get paid when they're not that professional. When there's so many amateurs out there, like, a lot of swimmers don't make much money, track and field don't make much money, but they give absolutely everything every single day. It does frustrate me.
And the attention.
It's a good point. I can't stand this. Like, this is social media. Like, I've gone down some rabbit holes of just reading comments, and the majority of people are saying, "Oh, he's a young fella. He's allowed to go and do what he wants." Yeah, he can do what he wants if he's not a fucking professional footballer on a contract getting paid this much money. Like, if he's a tradie, he can go over and do that and rock up to work. But like, this guy. Oh, just
the club approved it though, didn't they? Like, because it's a mid-season break we're talking about here. Did the club sign off on it?
1 week off, right? 1 weekend off.
Yeah, 1 week or 1 week.
That's not much time. Like, train.
Yeah,
that's a good time to get do some running. Like, when you're not as
recover. If you're smashing beers, you're not recovering.
There's also often different personalities in team sports as well. Like, endurance athletes, like we're a bit different compared to a lot of like team sport athletes in terms of our mentality, don't you reckon?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
The one sport where I reckon, like, it's a team sport where all individuals are invested, that I did see this at the AIS, was like rowing. So rowing, it's like each individual athlete would try and be in their peak performance for the team. That was probably the one one team sport where all athletes were on the same page and giving absolutely everything.
Do you think it's more endurance sports where you get that real personality, like where the addictive, obsessive personality comes into it.
And also, you know that to be the best, like in a lot of team sports, there's a skills component where, yes, you can train that skills component, but for an endurance athlete, you know that generally the fitter you are, the better you're going to perform, and the only way to get fit is to train. Whereas in team sports, you have these phenomenally freaky athletes who have just, great skills, and they can get by and still perform well without maybe having the fitness behind them.
Remember
like a Dennis Rodman.
Moose, they were saying, remember when Ollie Wines would come home and do water skiing, wakeboarding?
Yeah.
Same thing. They ripped into him for that as well. About but he's
No, and I agree.
You would never do that a week out from a marathon or stuff like that.
It's big money. It's big. Like, look after yourself. You are your commodity. You are the investment. Your body is the investment, and you're just you're gambling with it by doing that stuff.
I take it that we would struggle. We would struggle in that environment, knowing that your teammates weren't putting in.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck.
Which is
any Bendigo bat did that.
Which is probably why a lot of people actually leave team sports. They get frustrated and they go to individual sports.
It's a good thing about individual sports. Anyway, that was Monday. Good points, Moose. See if you can find some more throughout my week. Tuesday did the long run, so that was interesting. Doing a 2 hours 10 long run on a Tuesday morning. 4:19s. Didn't push the pace or anything. Just time on feet. Didn't even look at the pace. Got it done. Wednesday, 70 minutes in the morning at 4:35s, 30 minutes in the afternoon at 4:15s. Thursday, did a bit of a light workout, just did like 6 by 2 minutes at around about 3:02 pace, just off a minute jog. Just wanted like a bridging workout between the long run and the race on Saturday, just to do something but not be tired from that something. So I'd be still feeling it in the race. And then in the afternoon, I got out for 30 minutes, 4:21s. Friday, 40 minutes in the morning, 4:21s. 30 minutes in the afternoon, 4:28s. And then the race we're talking about, Cruden Farm, 12K cross country down in Frankston. So it was about 4 hours each way. Well, 4 hours from Moama to Frankston. And then I stayed at Bendigo that night. So only 3 hours home. You ran this one before, Moose? 12K cross country, Cruden?
Nah, I've never been there. I really was looking forward to it.
Elizabeth Murdoch's property, so that's a claim to fame, I suppose, for the location.
Who's that?
Don't know, but my mum knew her and my grandmother knew her, and Carly's mum.
Is it one of the Murdochs, like, one of their family?
Yeah, well, I'm just Googling her now.
We don't know. We have no idea.
She's an Australian-born British and American media executive based in the UK. So she doesn't live there anymore, but she owns it. She must be one of those Murdochs.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the...
Was she there? Did you meet her?
Nah, she wasn't there. But it's like beautiful gardens for like 200 metres of the course, and then you're running like paddocks and cow shit for the rest of the race. So it sounds glamorous when you tell people who know who Elizabeth Murdoch are that you go to the property to do a running race, but definitely isn't. I was just mentally cooked for this one. Like, I just didn't feel like I had much energy, and I think coming off Launceston and you know how you just get up and about for races? I was kind of really up and about last weekend, and 12K cross country really wasn't kind of wetting my whistle, I suppose. Wasn't making me up and about, but I guess the whole team aspect with the bats was why I was there, and we had 3 guys missing as well. So I was thinking about midweek maybe pulling the pin and just skipping one, but kind of had to go down to get some points, and warming up didn't feel great. I was just telling you guys off air that I bit my tongue last week pretty bad, and I still sound a bit dodgy at the moment because did a good job of it, and kind of that was a bit swollen, and I just didn't want to race, to be honest. But got there, gun went, everyone went crazy the first 500 metres. I reckon I was sitting in about 15th spot. Felt like my heart was in my throat. Just my heart rate was so high that first 500 metres, and I just thought, this is not going to be a good day. Maybe aim for top 20. And then everyone just settled down, probably through like 2K. And then we had a really good pack, like all those guys I talk about a lot on this show, like Michael Kernahan, Lockie Hurd was there, Toby Mende was there, Jesse Dunsmore, Tom Thorpe, Ben Kelly, all those guys, Moose, all those. Nathan Stote was there. And then Andy was well out in front. He went hard from the gun, and Andre Waring was like maybe second or third with Seth O'Donnell, and then there was a few other guys who kind of were in between packs, like Reese Edwards. Remember Reese Edwards? We talked about him before, 2:13 marathon.
You remember? He's still qualified for the Com Games.
Is he qualified?
Isn't he? 2:30. No, he's not qualified. But
sorry, he'd be the second fastest marathoner in the qualification period.
He ran this year, didn't he?
Yeah, if he didn't do it this year, it was late last year. So he's moved down to Melbourne. So he's joined up with the St. Stephen's Harriers. So another good pickup for them. They get their whole team on the park. They'll be smacking everyone up.
They must pay some money.
Yeah.
Who wants to run for St. Stephen's Harriers?
They got Reece Langdon as well. So like another Canberra guy come down to Melbourne.
A lot of money changing hands in that club.
Yeah, it's hard to compete with them when they've got that much money they're throwing around.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we kind of formed this like big mega group, I suppose, maybe like 3K in. We caught some of those boys. And then I was just sitting in the back. And then I just had like the idea in my head to let the course like break people, because 12k cross country is a long way. Like, and there's a few guys in that pack that are probably more 3k 5k guys than like 10k half marathoner guys, and I think 12k cross is more like a half marathon kind of strength distance to race than a 10 or a 5 or an 8k kind of race. So the group just dwindled. It just got down to about 6 and then 4, and then Nathan Stote went off the front to try and catch Seth and took a bloke from Knox, Will Collins, I think it is, with him. And then, me, Lockie Hurd and Kerners kind of sat in that next group, which was racing for 6th, 7th and 8th. And, we got away from a couple of the other guys. I ended up coming 6th, made a bit of a move with maybe like 400 to go to try to outkick Kerners and Lockie Hurd, who were both pretty strong. And then, I was tired. That was hard work to get that 6th finish. And, I don't know. It was a big, with the Sunday race into a Saturday race, it's 22k worth of racing in 6 days. And it was muddy, like the spots, a few photos getting around today of guys, Shoeberger from Western A's, Shoey.
Yeah.
You see the photo, she lost a spike and just ran the whole last 4k loop without his spike.
Geez, it wasn't very hilly, just looking at the Strava here.
Nah, it's not real hilly, which is nice, but there's just a lot of mud and a lot of like holes and stuff. So like the hills don't get you, but the rhythm gets you. A lot of twists and turns and tight turns and stuff like that. So
probably suits you though. Your running style would be suited to that type of course.
Yeah,
I reckon
it's one of those courses though where you're like, I remember thinking maybe like 9k in and like, this actually feels a bit too easy. We're going to have to push the pace, otherwise guys are going to run over the top of us. And then you just overstep that mark a bit and work a bit too hard, and then the next thing you know, like, oh, I'm really cooked here and I've got to hang on to the finish. This one of those ones, it's hard to get your pace right on it. But it was good. That's because I was 6th at Bendigo and 6th again there. So can't complain. And then just a long trip home, and then just stayed in Bendigo Saturday night, and then just did an hour 50 with the boys, because I'd already done my long run on the Tuesday. Just did my medium long run with the boys, 4:34 pace for an hour 50, 24.2k. Good group, cold, wet, kind of like that, that really like muggy, humid stuff, and then it just wets everything. That's what was going on. Feels like 3, not much fun, but got it done. 157, I think, for the week. And another good win for the Bendigo Batsmoose. You would have enjoyed seeing that.
You did go well. You did it quite easy. Probably didn't need you there, to be honest.
I know. 89 we scored, Croaks. You would have been happy seeing that when you were checking the scores Sunday, Arvo.
Yeah, but then you got to get up again this weekend, don't you?
Go on again this week, yeah, for the relays this week.
What leg you got?
I'm not sure. Maybe one of the middle ones, because like obviously Andy will do the long one, get us off to a good start, and then which one are you going to do, you reckon?
Oh, that is a very good question.
Because is it 8.8, 8, and then like 6, 5, 4, 3 or something like that?
There's a 3k loop, which sounds great, but at the same time, it's the last leg. And if I am in the first division running the last leg, that's not good for me. So I need to find
Yeah, but you don't want fitter guys over longer distances.
Yeah.
It's more vulnerable, isn't it? So I think we'll probably go like Andy the longest, Nath Stokes second, then me third. So I might get like the 6K one.
Okay, yeah. We'll see if I'm in the first or the second team for the race. I think I'll be in the first because this is 1 week out from Gold Coast, and there'll be a few blokes who want to go on ice. But I'm encouraging them to do it as a tempo because, points and all.
Points and all. Team's important. And that's what... Another thing, I was like, these are messy and they're ugly and it doesn't look good on Strava, but this is why I ran well at Launceston, because I'm doing stuff like this. So when I was trying to convince myself to go and get excited and have a crack at it, it's like, this will pay dividends in 2 weeks when I get to the Gold Coast. Once you get on the flat, you're like, this is a piece of cake. Just builds that extra strength offline.
I like cross country for marathoning too. I do. Hey, question then. Another last point for your week.
Yep.
Who is going to beat Andy Buchanan at cross country?
I wanted to bring that up when we got to the results.
We can wait.
We can talk about it now because we can go to the results.
Just do the results now. Just do those results now.
Yeah, so Andy Buchanan won again in 36.12, so average 3-minute K pace for 12K, which was pretty good. Andre Waring second, 36.54. Seth O'Donnell third, 37.19. 330 people in the race. Bats we spoke about before won with a team score of 89. Box Hill second, 183. St. Stephen's third, 199. Who's going to beat Andy Buchanan? I don't know. And the point I was going to make is, have we seen, I don't know, in my cross-country running days, if we've seen someone as dominant on the scene? We see good people come and they might do a few and then disappear, but I reckon he's won everyone he's done for the last 2 or 3 years. No one's touched him for a while over cross country. The only person I can think of
would be Liam, but I don't think he's shown up with the intention to win enough like Andy does.
Yeah, no, I think he uses them more for training sessions, Liam. And that's what I'd love to see, like Liam having a crack, maybe like a Joel Tobin White having a crack. Brett Robertson, he said last week at the Pastor Party Croaks he's going to be staying local until London Marathon, so it'd be good to see him maybe at one of them to see what he does on the cross against Andy.
Why do you reckon they don't go and do it?
Don't know, no idea. Because maybe just don't know, not sure.
Who do you mean?
Like Brett and stuff.
Brett and
they're probably not. Brett's because he's not from Victoria. Probably that team culture. Probably doesn't understand. Well, he'd understand it because he'd have mates who are involved in it, but hasn't been brought up with it.
Yeah.
And I think he runs for APS or something. Needs to get into a strong culture club.
Yeah, I think there's probably just not a value seen on it, and whether you could do another workout at the same time, not risk the injury maybe of running in cross country, but. Andy's not showing up for himself, is he? He's showing up for the team. Maybe it's 80% team, 20% he'll get fitness from it as well. So
I think you'd find though that Andy would put a lot of his road success down to his cross country running though.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously got a massive talent for it. He's doing this easy. He's winning these races easily. The amount of time he's got to second place is just it's a lifetime really in cross country.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Knowing you've won
you see, you switched
3 minutes into the run.
Second lap, he's just he just lost a bit of focus and started switching off a bit, and you're just imagine how good that would be.
Yeah. So I think you're going to take it's going to take Brett to come back and do a cross country race, or it'll take Liam to show up. Because I think Liam can run very well over cross country without being at his fittest.
Well, here's something for you though. We're talking about how good he is at cross country. Will he make the Australian team for the cross country champs next year?
Who?
Andy.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So
yes,
6 names: Pat Tiernan, Morgan McDonald, Ollie Hoare, Stewie, Brett, Jack.
Maybe he won't.
Do you know what I mean?
You're not going to get that many guys fit on the start line of the trials.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 of those guys be too injured.
Yeah, and I think that he can run with those guys over cross country on a good day for him and a bad day for them.
Okay. You know, another one would be good to see, Sam McEntee, local Melbourne guy now. Be good to see him getting around.
Yeah, maybe Geelong got to send an email. Oh, hold up.
What would be good is every club had like a budget. Imagine if AV like, hey, we've got the Regos, there's so many Regos we've got this year, we're going to give every Premier Division team $2,000.
You need a salary cap.
Yeah, salary
you need
cap.
a salary
Can't
cap.
Can't spend any more than that $2,000. You know, if you want to give Bendigo, you want to give all your $2,000 to Andy to keep him, all good. Or he can run for he'll take $200 a year, then you can start spending up on some other guys. Or you can just use it for petrol or your Regos or whatever. Wouldn't that be fun?
It'd be good. I think you guys are doing a good job. Like, not to pump up the podcast, but I think you two, the fact that you're invested from two different teams that are in the Premier Division, I think it's increasing the interest in XCR this season. Across good punters and, you know, which is good. Like, it's good for the sport.
Oh, mate, the amount of people in the course croaks who are just yelling out like "go bats" and stuff is unbelievable. Never seen anything
ridiculous.
Like it. Yeah,
unless they're fucking from Bendigo. That's ridiculous.
Just randoms out there, Moose.
That is like, cheer for your own team, for fuck's sake.
But maybe they don't. Why
are you cheering for another team? See, that annoys me. Why are you going to cheer for that?
You got the star of the show and the winner of the race. Support the guys winning.
You cheer for your teammates. You don't cheer for someone you're running against.
Mate, if there's Inside Run podcast listeners out there who live in Frankston, they don't know anyone from the Frankston team, and then they see Andy Buchanan getting around with a bat tattoo, who are you going to be cheering for?
I don't like that. No,
Georgia. We're moving on. Georgia Hansen won the women's race, 41.58. Same thing. Melissa Duncan second, 43.34. So huge win there. Rachel McGuinness was third, 44.05. Glenn Huntley won, team score 57. Box Hill again, 68. They had first, second and fifth and still didn't win the point score. South Melbourne third and 74 points. Both races, same exact podium as the last round, which was interesting. So that's that. It was good to get down there. Good to see big numbers again. 330 in the men, 129 in the women's. Let's thank some Patreon supporters, though, fellas, just so I don't get lost where we're up to on this sheet of paper. Kick it off, Croaks.
All right, I got Thomas Goodman this week. Thomas lives in St. Peter in South Australia. Looks like he's a tall fella and has spent some time in the Northern Territory. Ran his first half marathon in 97 minutes at the Great Southern Bolt. Gets on Swift a bit.
Running Swift, Croaks?
Nah, bike ride one, I think.
Bike ride one. Yep.
And he maybe ran a 21.51 parkrun PB from the West Beach parkrun. So thanks for your support, Thomas.
Good on you, Thomas.
Job, Tom. I have Brian Delaney. So Brian, not a lot on Brian, no Strava or social media coming up, but maybe it's this guy from Coburg Harriers. Brian Delaney is a middle distance coach and long distance coach. Brian takes the club's Tuesday and Thursday night middle distance and endurance training groups. Perhaps this is him. He's a former member of Percy Serity's training group. Oh, he'd be elderly because Brian has many years of experience coaching groups at Coburg with a focus on distance. Well, yeah, fantastic. Being a member of Percy Serity's training group would be an interesting chat.
Yeah, he'd have some good stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope it's the same guy. I just got to the stage where I just typed his name plus running into Google, and that's what come up.
So how many times do you do that except Brady's Trelfall running every day?
You know what I've been doing every day lately? Been putting in my World Athletics profile, waiting to see my Launceston 10 result go in there. Still hasn't gone on, boys. I'm starting to get worried they put a cone in the wrong spot or something.
An asterisk.
Why is it not on my profile yet? That's worrying me. Anyway, remind me to check that tomorrow when we're off air. Michael Thomas, I'm thanking you. Hard one here as well. Maybe this guy, because I found one Michael Thomas who follows Izzy Bat Doyle on Strava. So it could be this guy. From Carl Lee in Queensland. PBs of 22.20 for 5K, 46:07 for 10K, and 17 hours and 3 minutes for 100K. Maybe did Racing the Planet Ultra Marathon a couple of years ago. So, Michael, I hope that's you. If so, thank you for your support, along with all the other legends over there on patreon.com/Inside Running Podcast. Keep the show alive each week. Bring your running news, bring your interviews, bring your train talk, all those kind of things. We really appreciate your support. Some running news,
Thanks.
boys.
Thank you.
Let's start with Oslo Diamond League, Bradley.
Yep, it's been a big week in distance running for Australia. We'll start off, with the women's 5K at Oslo. So we had Rose Davies in that race. She finished 16th in 15:20. Now let's move to the 5K. Jack Rayner was in the mix for the majority of the race, even went to the lead with about a kilometre to go. He ended up finishing in 6th place in 13:06, which moves him to third all-time Aussie. It was a PB by 28.68 seconds. And he went from 51st to 3rd. It's a World Championships Qualifier. And a question that Brady has put here is, what is Jack's best distance? Is he a better chance to medal in the 5 and 10 at Com Games than the marathon? Good question, Brady.
You know what I mean? I saw that result and I'm like, why we got him in the marathon? We know the marathon, he gets injured before a lot of marathons as well.
I think 10K is better than 5 at the moment, just based on what he ran at in the US. That puts him sort of in the mix, I reckon, for Com Games. And who knows, he might be able to run faster than that over 10. So I'd say
who's Kenya sending to the Com Games track? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. But then you got Uganda as well. They're strong. So I still think, I'm hoping that his 5 and 10 has improved so much since he ran his last marathons that this extra speed that he has will hopefully just make him a better marathon. Like, he'll be so much more efficient at his old marathon pace that he should be able to run faster over the marathon than what he has. So I would still say that his best chance at Com Games is the marathon, assuming that Kenya and Uganda send a top team for the 5 and 10K on the track.
The caveat to that, though, is that has he been training as a marathoner?
Well, that's true.
Because you can get better at the 5K without 2.5, 3 hour, 2.5 hour long runs and long marathon workouts. So I the question, and depends on the field, like you said, who's Kenya sending, who's Uganda sending, who is England sending, or Scotland? Are they part of it? Scotland? Yeah. So there are countries out there that can send athletes that will make medaling a difficult task. Yeah. We do know that the Kenyan marathon team is strong. So I think that's
both men and women. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 3 guys maybe under 2.5 for the marathon, or under 2.6. So
I've got that here actually. I'll be able to tell you. I was just looking at that the other day.
Straight up, that's a difficult task to beat the 2.6 guy. Now, we don't know what shape they're in. We don't know how committed they are to this championships, but you've got that's difficult.
And looking at Jack's Strava, which I'm on now, there's not a lot of runs over 2 hours, which, as we know, the marathon, you've got to be running over 2 hours during the week to run a good marathon, I think. His last few weeks have been sort of an hour 45, and there's not that many weeks until the Com Games marathon. So, which I think his volume's probably not that high, just because he, came off obviously the niggle, well, not the niggle, the fracture at the Olympics. Then he broke the Aussie 10K record, and then I think he had a niggle after that. So he's probably just being a little bit cautious when it comes to his mileage. So it doesn't look like that he's targeting marathon training at the moment.
The 3 guys Kenya named, their season best from last year was 204, 205, 205. And the women was 230, 222, 222.
Yeah.
The two 222 ladies are going to be up there, you'd expect.
All right, I'll put this one to you, Moose. I know Brady likes hypotheticals. I'm not as much for them.
Give me one.
But based on the fact that Jack has already run 2:11, but now he's running 27 low and like 13 minutes. Once he goes back to the marathon training, and assuming he stays in one piece, is he likely to break the Aussie marathon record?
Yeah, I think he is, because he's shown us being able to run very fast half marathons and win races and be competitive at big events. I think yes. The answer for me is he can do it.
Yeah,
I agree. He's the guy.
All right, so that was the 5K, and then in the mile, this was incredible to watch. So Jakob won the race. He just missed the European record, but the only guy that really went with him was Ollie, and Ollie just sat on him for as long as he could. And I listened to the Coffee Club podcast, and his plan was to sit and then with 300 to go try and put some pressure on Jakob, but he just wasn't able to do that. But the fact that his goal was to like just sit with him for as long as he can, like dragged him around to an Aussie record. So Ollie ran 3:47.48. So that broke Stewie's record by 0.89 of a second, which Stewie set there last year. It was a PB by 3.35 seconds for him. Oceania record, 13th fastest all time, 6th fastest in Commonwealth history, and number 2 in the world for 2022. So it was a sensational run, and he's so gutsy, Ollie. Like, he's happy just to put it on the line and have a crack. So what do you boys think?
Oh, amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, so good.
I didn't watch. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet, but I remember seeing the time come through and going, "Oh my god!" Like, I remember I've read it was Rod Dixon's book, actually. It's a good book. Talks about when they used to run those big miles, like the Dream Mile. It was like Dixon, Coe, Ovet. There was the American, is it Spence or Smith at the time? Who was that?
Nah, he used to wear the sunny Scott.
Yeah, Steve Scott. Sorry, yeah. And you had the Moroccan.
Seda Weeder.
Was it? No, I think it was a bit afterwards. Who was that? Anyway, and they were like rolling these world records, and this was proper miling at its absolute height, and obviously we don't see the mile that much anymore, but we have reference to the times. Like, if someone said, "Oh, I ran the 1200 in this," we don't know, but there's a lot of historical context for these mile times. And when I see 3:47, I go, shit, I know what that means. Like, that's the 13th fastest ever.
Yeah. It reminded me of the Aussie titles last year, where it was just Stewie and Jai, but on like a world stage, where it's like they just left everybody else in their wake. It was just those two guys.
You're ripping off Whiteman a bit there. He tried to go with them.
Yeah, all right. Well, 3 then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it certainly puts him in a good position now for Com Games and even world champs.
He's going to get a medal, my boy. Remember the show end of last year? Who to watch this year?
Who to watch?
Ollie Hall, boys.
It was already one to watch.
Oh, mate, he's gone from like, will he make the final at the Olympics? Maybe that'd be a good result to like, we're expecting a medal now, Ollie.
Well,
last year.
Jakob's the only guy that he hasn't beaten now, like of all the big names.
I see he's going back to train now. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is good. Don't want to over-race.
And last race there, from an Aussie point of view, was Cat Bisset in the 800. She finished 7th in 1:59.4, another season's best. And she also released, in collaboration with Beyond Blue, a video over the weekend. So we'll put that video in the show notes. I haven't seen it though, Brady. Have you? Obviously you have.
Yep, very good.
Yeah, I watched it. Oh, man, I don't watch many videos. Like, I see something that goes for that long and I skip it. And I opened this up, I watched it, which is a big deal. Like, it's significant for me, and I thought it was just one of the best short, we'll call it a short movie, really, or a short clip of basically like Cat Bisset just being totally open and honest and no bullshit, like not trying to get anything out of it. It was just great. I loved it. I just
How long does it go for?
Oh, 3.5, 4.5 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
I thought Moose was making out as like a 45-minute video.
Mate, a 4.5-minute video for me. I normally look to see if there's a punchline in the first 3 seconds. I'm skipping it.
Yeah, but it was a great meet from an Aussie point of view at Oslo.
That was like Thursday night, I think, and then Paris Diamond League on the weekend, Moose.
Yeah. Sorry, go again.
Paris happened on the weekend.
Oh, yeah. But yes, well, we saw another Australian record. Jesus, it was a big weekend. Peter Bowl ran the Aussie record, 144 flat. 4th in the world this year. Again, I missed the race. I'm sorry. I'm just not all over this. I'm not all over the replays.
He was second, though, in the race. Croaks, did you watch it?
Who beat him?
French guy, wasn't it, Croaks?
Yeah, so this was they didn't put this one on live, I don't think, on Foxtel. They played it later in the day, and so I did record it, but by that, because I think it was on from 9 to 11 that morning, and I went running at like 10:30, and so I'd already seen the result. So I did see the last part. He came home like a train, which. The thing I like about Pete now is we've known that he's been a great 800-metre runner, but his 1,500 shows that he's just got so much more strength now. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next, month or so. But, yeah, I didn't watch the race, but I saw the last 100.
Benjamin Robert won it. French guy, 143.7. He took down Boss, though. Giles, some big names there.
Oh, yeah, coming into form at the right time. Although, how long is World Champs now? 6 weeks?
No.
Oh, it's less than that.
It's like
4
3.5 tops.
3.5, yeah. He's in form at the right time then, isn't he? They get it right.
They get it right.
They get it right, that crew.
How
15th
many...
of July it starts, Moose.
Yeah.
Question for you boys. How many medals will Australia win from a distance point of view? So we'll go from 800 metres up at the World Championships, and how many will we win at the Commonwealth Games?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Yeah.
Well, maybe who's a medal contender?
All right. So Ollie is a medal contender at both.
Pete Bowles a medal contender at both.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's no difference between World Champs and Com Games because the athletes at Com Games still got to go up against the Kenyans and the Ugandans and the English.
Nah, it's more difficult.
World Champs is harder.
Yeah, it is a bit, but it's still a challenge at Com Games.
Yeah, but it's easier to get to the final. There's less.
True.
Yeah, there's. Yeah,
okay, I'll pay that.
Yeah, Com Games is more difficult.
I was more thinking if you're in contention for one, you're probably in contention for both. I don't know if we've got any athletes who'd say no for World Champs, but yes for Com Games.
Maybe the steeplechasers. So
yeah, good point.
So you've got obviously the African nations, but we're pretty.
No Ethiopia though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I'm not sure how Uganda goes in the steeple. They're obviously strong at 5K, 10K.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Jess Hull, put her down for some medals.
Probably more Com Games than Worlds, I reckon.
Okay.
But what do we get at Gold Coast Com Games? We got Luke Matthews, Shelley, and then
Lisa and Jess.
So we got 4. So are we going to get more than 4 this time?
4's pretty good.
4's pretty good, especially not to discount the quality of the marathon fields at Gold Coast, but it sounds like Kenya's sending stronger teams this time around.
Oh, absolutely. The Kenyan teams were very, very weak at Gold Coast.
Yeah, so that could make it a little bit harder. But we've probably got better chance on the track this time around. And then we've got Stewie, word on the street that Stewie's getting back into shape.
Lyndon Hall.
Lyndon, yeah.
George, well, we don't know who's on the team yet, do we?
No. Right. It's a good point,
Yeah.
Brady.
We know Liam's there. We know Jack's there. We know Sinead's there. Sinead will be sniffing out a medal for sure, I think.
Yeah. Oh, well, all of those girls will be.
Well, we don't know who the other two are, Moose.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
True.
They'll all be sniffing a medal out.
Yeah.
A message now from our podcast partner, Lululemon. We've been talking about and wearing Lululemon, and if you're after new running gear for your run season goals, you know where to go. Lululemon have designed this season's run gear with technical and functional details, from internal zip pockets for the small necessities, to variations in lengths for women's and men's running tights and shorts, to sweat-wicking fabrics and mesh paneling exactly where you need it. With superior fit and technical innovation, Lululemon designs gear to last and perform day in, day out, no matter the weather. Not convinced? Try it out for yourself with free shipping and free returns for all online orders. Go to www.lululemon.com.au.
Yeah, exciting times. Sandgate Parkrun, Moose. You see this?
Are we reporting on park runners now?
Mate, the amount of
We do this every year. We did it last year as well, I
the
reckon.
amount of DMs we got about this parkrun over the weekend was incredible.
Yeah. Well,
Is it AIM certified?
I don't know. I don't care. I just want to keep the people happy who DM'd us over the weekend.
so it's obviously a fantastic little race they got going on. Maybe like replaces their cross-country series or something. But they had 69 people run under 17 minutes, 12 men under 15 minutes. Our man, the milkman, Kieran Perkins, got the win, 14:14. And then our other man, Hobbsy, Aidan Hobbs, ran 14:16 right off the back. Lachlan Cook, third place, 14:19. So a good little group they had going. And in the ladies, I got two results here. Carafine Ryan ran 16:18, and Caitlin McQuilkin-Bell ran 16:48. So from that, here's the problem. And I saw there was a park run in Albury. Looks a bit short. There's a record for park run. Andy Badley has it. You know him?
Mm-hmm.
Does he still have it?
Oh no, I might have got that wrong. I reckon
Cox has the Australian one, doesn't he?
I don't know who has the Australian one, but I know that I thought Andy Badley had it.
He definitely had the world one.
Yeah, the world one.
Yeah.
But anyone can put a cone out anywhere on the parkrun course.
Jude Thomas has the Australian one.
Oh, does he?
Yep. 14:02.
Oh wow, that's quick. Yeah, there's just no what's the right word?
Credibility.
Certification.
Both of those. There is credibility because it's a running race still, but there's just no. Struggling with this.
I wasn't meaning to say there wasn't any credibility. I was just trying to guess the word that you were trying to say.
Yeah, no, I mean there's no onus on the race to put the cone in the right spot. You know, there's no check back and go.
Do you know that though?
No, I don't know that.
Because there is protocols, someone's got to check the course beforehand, and there's different volunteer roles where you've got to tick the boxes before it starts.
So you were involved. What is the?
I was involved when Echuca started up, but that was years ago, and I wasn't involved with where the actual courses. We just go out and back on a bike path, and I know there was some roadworks going on a couple of weeks ago when I went back down there, and they had to move the start back because it would have come up short if they had to cut out a little bit of a corner. So I know they made it. Whereas I just thought, I'll just be 20 metres short today, but they were
who cares, right?
Yeah, moving the start back to which I thought that was good move.
I think it will obviously just depend on the race and who's working that day. But this isn't about that. This is about parkrun providing a racing opportunity for a lot of people in Brisbane, which is pretty cool. I really like this. As long as
they pencil this in a long way out as well, that they're all going to go the same day, because this is not every Saturday morning.
Yeah, and it's obviously an organised place to run fast with a course that's measured, hopefully. And there's starters, there's finishes, there's a start line, a finish line. you're right. It's good that they're organising a long way out. The thing with parkrun is that I reckon since it started, it's making the local event community, it's making it a bit harder for them, because if someone wants to go and run a fun run, say, I'll go to parkrun instead, I won't pay $30-40 for an entry to this local fun run, and I'll go and do parkrun instead. It might be on the same day, or it might be like the fun runs on the Sunday, and it's just a bit tricky, because I've seen some very hardworking, very good-willed event folk struggling with their events lately, and I think the parkrun thing has a bit to do with it.
What about with events going to less on closing roads and doing more events on bike paths like parkrun do? Have you noticed that as well?
Well, I don't think that's a good thing for the event.
I know, but I'm seeing more of that creeping in, which then becomes more comparison to a parkrun.
Yeah.
Then people make that argument like, hang on, we're just paying now to a fun run on the parkrun course and a bit extra somewhere else.
Yep, I know what you mean.
I must admit, I find it hard to get excited about races that I know are going to be on like a bike path. Yeah. There's something about doing a race on a closed road.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it seem special.
Yep, definitely.
But imagine the cost.
Yeah.
Anyway, good chat there. Croaks, New South Wales cross country.
So that was held at Nowra on the weekend. Aaron Parker, he got the win over Benny Saint. So Aaron ran 31.56, although time's not really that relevant for cross country. Benny was second, 32.02. Luke Hintz from Wollongong was third in 32.20. Bankstown won the men's competition, Sydney Uni second, and an ACT team third.
Yeah, combined ACT team. I like that.
Yeah.
Go up there.
Yeah. So then in the women's, Paige Campbell first in 36.18. Ainsley Van Graan second, 36.33, and Jess Noble, who's a patron, was third in 37.05. Run Crew were the only team there, 21 points.
Must be hilly, that one, Croaks. Nice course, you ran that one?
Yeah, so the course has changed a few times. So it used to be there used to be this mongrel of a hill that was like when they had National Cross there in 2009. The hill was there, and then I didn't run it again until 2019, and they'd taken out the back hill. So it was still hilly, but the bad hill is not on the course anymore. And I think the course was slightly different to the course that I ran in 2019 as well this year.
Yeah, looks nice. A bit of around the grounds here, Moose. Some European results to finish it off.
Lyndon Hall ran 4 flat point something somewhere, maybe in Spain.
Yeah, do you guys know anything more about this?
I saw, is it Mitch, our friend actually, Mitch Wilcox, he was filming it. I saw it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
He was in the crowd. So that's all I saw of that, to be honest. We could probably look that up. But
I looked on our World Athletes profile today and there was nothing on there.
Nothing there?
Yeah.
Not yet. Ben Buckingham ran a 3K steeple. Massive from him. 8:19.7 in Turku, Finland. Good return to form with another qualifier because the other one was from the Olympics. So we like that from Ben. Big fan. He is of us, of course. Training talk. Oh, that's it. We're in the next section.
Well, it was a good bounce back from Bucks, wasn't it? Like the last couple haven't gone his way. Come back to do that. I like that from Bucks.
Yeah, he wasn't showing great form. It was something like, actually, I should pull up the message, but he dropped something like 47 seconds in a month, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Lyndon's run makes it tougher for the selectors as well, because now you've got 3 women, so Jess, Lyndon and Georgia, who have run like 4 minutes flat or faster. But our other girl who won the national title has only run 4:03. So, Abby Caldwell. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I saw that result and thought, oh boy, here we go.
They were never leaving Lyndon off anyway.
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, watch the space on that one. Training Talk is next. This segment is proudly brought to you by Lululemon. Lululemon have designed technical gear with the runner in mind to last more than the season. Head to lululemon.com.au to find out more. Bradley, combined with our listener question this week again.
Yeah, so the question comes from Sydney. With races coming up soon everywhere, the usual talk is about pre-race food, but what about hydration? What to drink, not to drink, how much, when to drink, etc. Personally, I would love a refresher, and I'm sure others out there would appreciate it as well. Thanks, Sydney.
Long time listener, Sydney. Good bloke.
I got a I don't think it's a myth. I heard it somewhere from a credible source once, but whoever it was advised to start hydrating about 5 to 7 days before the race. And one of the things was that if you hydrate earlier like that, you can increase your chances of being hydrated on the start line without having to do it too late, where if you drink too much the day before, your bladder gets full and you wake up in the night and you ruin your night's sleep. That's very weird, like, benefit to hydrating earlier in the week. But I always thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and have to take a piss.
I always heard the saying, though, like, we're not camels and we can't store water.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point hydrating that far out because of that.
Yeah.
Like, you just losing it.
I think, I always, like, my personal thing is have my drink bottle with me at all times the week before the race. So don't, like, you still drink to thirst. You're not trying to do something. It's not like carb loading where you're eating sometimes outside of your hunger and you're putting food on top of food. You don't really want to put water on top of water, but you just don't let yourself get in a position of dehydration in the week leading up. So there's always a water, like a hydration source next to you. And for me, that's like when I wake up, I'll drink with breakfast, and then I'll have my water bottle with me in the car driving to work, and then at work I'll have it next to me at the desk, and then I drive home and I'll have a water bottle in the time it takes to drive home. So it's just basically being a little more diligent, having it next to me. And then when you get to the 24 to 48 hours beforehand, I'll often carb load using sports drinks, and those sports drinks will be a lot of fluid involved with that. So I'll tend to be quite hydrated from the fluids that I'm drinking in the lead up, like as part of the carb load.
Just constantly like sipping, like no big sessions where it sits in your stomach. Like, I've stuffed that up before and it just bounces around. So yeah, just constantly like little sips, but frequently. I often chuck in like the multivitamin or electrolyte tablets or something like that just to mix it up so it's not all
which
water.
one? They're very different.
Both of them. Like I'll often, pre-race I won't have a multivitamin, but I try to have one of those like every day when I'm training. But then pre-race I'll have an electrolyte, just chuck one of those in, and post-race as well. I like to have one of those. I'm not sure. I think it's more, just to mix up the taste buds, because water gets a bit boring. But I suppose that's why you got the Morton, you've got the Gatorade and stuff like that as well. Do you have any like certain rules you follow about mils per body weight or anything like that?
Not with hydration. It's a little difficult because everyone's different and our salt content, it is. There are no hard and fast rules like there is for carb loading, where you can get a specific amount using a formula.
Yeah.
And that's what you're aiming for. Just like during the race, when you're aiming for specific amounts of carbohydrate, it's very different for sodium, like your sodium intake and hydration. And so, that's why I will, maybe I'll have like in the lead up, so say like the 5 days before, I might alternate a bottle of water with maybe a shots tab or like a noon tablet in there, like you do, Brady.
Anything else there, Croaks?
Not really.
Doing? Gold Coast week.
Yeah, so I don't have any rules. Like I focus more on the carb load in terms of like rules of trying to get a certain amount of carbs in, whereas hydration for me is more about, just as you said before, being diligent in the week beforehand and making sure you get to the start line hydrated. The one thing I use fluids for in the carb load is, if I get to like Saturday lunchtime and I'm feeling a bit bloated because of all of the like starchy carbs that I've been eating, that's where like juices and sports drinks come in handy, because you can still get a lot of carbs in without it making you super bloated. But from a performance point of view, I probably focus more on hydration and getting stuff in. Like, obviously I get to the start line hydrated, but if you're running a marathon and it's going to be potentially warm, you need to be really diligent during the race. And so I probably focus more on making sure I drink during the race, especially early on, than I actually do before the race, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Because I think most people's race gets ruined by not drinking enough during the race, as opposed to being on the start line hydrated.
Yep. Thanks for the question, Sydney. Moose on the Loose, listener question. Before I do that, though, I do need to thank Lululemon, the Training Talk partner. Their new run range is designed with lightweight fabrics, thoughtful features like keyside zipper pockets and mesh paneling to keep you running whatever the weather. Visit lululemon.com.au to find out more. Moose on the Loose purchase of the week.
Well, I think I've done the Jordan De Goey as my Moose on the Loose today, or like just the lack of professionalism around that sort of stuff in football. Purchase of the week. Wow. What have I purchased? Nah, I've been pretty frugal at the moment. I got nothing there. I've been very good lately. Very good. Like, the amount of shit that Bree buys for this baby of ours, like, there's nothing left for me. There's nothing left on the credit card. I go to buy something and it's maxing out. And then I look at what's showing up daily. Oh, we bought this puzzle, and then we got this book, and a new set of these clothes. Or like, God, she got like 800 sets of singlets. Why do we need another one? Just hard work.
They grow, though. They got to grow out of those little ones.
Yeah, but she ain't growing that quick.
Okay, you reckon it's more like a fashion thing? Insta baby.
I think she's obsessed with online shopping. Like, I think during the feed, she just sits on her phone and shops for stuff. Now she's on the marketplace. She's looking to buy. I saw it the other day. I walked past. I saw her on her phone. She's talking to someone about buying a xylophone, like on marketplace. I'm like, we don't need that. A xylophone. Yeah. Oh, the baby will like it.
Oh, baby xylophone.
Oh God, fucking hell.
Viv loves the marketplace as well.
Oh, it's a mum thing.
But it's more giving stuff away. I'll often come home from work and there'll be something out on our doorstep. I'm like, where's that going? She's like, oh, someone's coming to pick it up in like 5 minutes. It's like, okay.
As long as they don't knock on the door and you have to deal with it.
I think that's why they just get left out there. Especially if you're giving it away and you're not getting any money for it.
Oh yeah, no interaction, please. Yep.
So she's just doing it just to clear stuff out.
Just to clear stuff out, yeah. But then she'll often buy things on there as well. So it's a good way of, I guess, getting stuff for half price or even more off than buying everything brand new.
Imagine going to pick something up and then you've got Brad Croker just coming in the driveway and you look over and you're like, am I at Brad Croker's house? Get the fuck out of here.
Or the shed.
So no one knows who I am.
What a day.
In the shed on a treadmill.
Oh, yeah. I got the heater cranked. Yeah, that would be a really good day for those people.
I have the garage door's down when I'm doing the heat stuff.
Oh, put it up, mate, for people walking past.
Yeah, how are they going to know?
Give them a bit of a show.
How are they going to know how good you are?
You never look that fast when you're on the treadmill anyway. Doesn't matter how fast you're going.
You don't.
Okay, so that's that. No real segment there for you, Moose. Two different.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I added one in. Like, do you want me to go again?
You had a moose on the loose.
Had one earlier on.
Talk about. We got stitched up by AV this week, didn't we? We went through a bit of a debacle about that.
Oh yeah, Geelong getting disqualified from the first round of AV relays.
Didn't even tell us. Didn't even tell us. Not a single email went out to Geelong to say, hey, you got no points for round one because one of your runners wasn't registered. Here's their receipts of their registration, actually. Oh yeah, sorry, our bad. But no one told us. Like this.
Did you not know until I told you?
I saw yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You sent the ladder through, and I'm like, hey, why has Geelong got no points? This is like 3 weeks after the race.
Oh,
The
way
ladders have
longer than that.
Way longer, exactly.
6 weeks after, yeah.
Surely the courtesy thing is to go, hi, Geelong Region Cross Country, we're not giving you points this week because one of your members wasn't registered. If you'd like to explain that here or whatever. I just thought that was rough. And I'm like, there's a bit of a vendetta against Geelong this year.
The bad boys.
We're the real underdogs. Chip on the shoulder stuff down in G-Town.
Well, it worked on the weekend. You came out firing.
Mate, the boys were upset about this. The boys got to keep them in trouble. They're going to go spray the officials soon. Like, I got to have a word to them because they're running with fire in their bellies right now.
Calm them down a bit.
And it's good for them. They need a bit of this. But, geez, just keep them back. Like, keep them in their tent before the race. And then just 1 minute before the start, I'll open the tent and I say, get to the start line, you're off. You don't want to mix them with the public when they're like this.
So, Brady, with this XCR, like the fact that you've won 3 in a row, at what point can you guys afford to almost throw around?
Oh, you can never throw one because you'd just be... So if you win, you get 12 points. If you're second, you get 10, and then 9, 8, 7. So you get that bonus point if you win.
Yeah.
But for example, like we're like perfect score so far, so we're on 36. But there'd be a team that's 4, 5 behind us, probably Box Hill. I think they've been third, and then second. So if you throw one and go down the bottom, you only get 1 point. They get 12. Like they make up 11 points. You know what I mean? So you can never throw around. Yeah. But when can you start relaxing, Croaks? That's you'd probably not for us because if Andy gets picked for Com Games, like we're screwed. We lose the champ. So we just got to try and win as many as possible just in case he gets picked and goes. And we got like the Beast is out injured, Archie's out injured. Like, we got holes to fill. So
Archie retired, right?
Take it. No, he was there watching on the weekend. That's good support, isn't it? Drive 4 hours to come watch.
I would have thought though, like Bendigo winning or Bendigo region winning Div 1 with all people from Bendigo would almost be like enough reason for Andy to say, nah, not worried about Com Games this year. Want to win XCR Div 1.
Hey, the man's never worn an Australian singlet before. Come on.
I know. I was joking.
I hope so.
Good gag. Which does bring us to what's coming up. Hopefully this time, when this one goes out, we do have a Com Games team, a World Champs team. I see that the qualifier periods for the World Champs is still open until the 26th. So you're telling me the marathoners for the World Champs won't know until the end of this week, potentially. I don't know. This stuff confuses me. I'm also waiting for that Gold Coast announcement as well to get us excited about who's racing up there. Live show getting close to capacity. Probably like 40, 45 tickets left maybe. So if you want one of those, check the link in our Instagram bio or just Google like Inside Running Podcast live at the Gold Coast to come to our live recording, have a couple of beers, catch up. We've got a couple of guests really close to being locked in. So some big names there, which will be good. And then that's all I've got coming up, boys. You guys doing anything special? Croaks? Training?
Pretty quiet this week. Just a couple of light sessions, maybe 90 minutes Sunday.
This is the week, though. I was telling my marathoners this. Like, this is the week. Get your gels ready. Make sure your shoes are all good. Make sure your socks are good. What are you doing for drinks? All that sort of, like, admin stuff.
At the running company, Geelong.
Yeah. Anything you need to get posted to you, get it sorted now because you don't want to be worried about this next week.
Yeah.
Good points.
Good
points. Yeah. Very good points.
The training doesn't really matter from here on in. You can get more tired, but you can't get much fitter, but you can be more organised. Moose, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm going to head back to work tomorrow. So I did have a bit of a spell. Haven't been at work for a few days. Nice to tune out, actually. Not tune out, but, not look at all your work stuff popping up on your computer. So I head back to work, and then on Saturday I will be seeing you at St Anne's.
Yeah.
You're going to... So I'll be there.
League. I hope I'm up against you.
Oh, well, unless it's the first leg, we're not going to be running together, are we?
Yeah,
regardless. You're going to be a bit ahead. I mean, Bendigo haven't looked like getting beaten at the moment.
How was your... Because people come up to me, they're like, can't wait till you like talk to Moose about it and like give him some shit about he didn't think you guys were going to be in Division 1 and like, how are you feeling about it now? You want to take any of his statements back about how Bendigo didn't deserve to be there?
No. So funnily enough,
Didn't
you
think
say
we'd fit
this,
in, stuff like that?
I was actually thinking about this on my run yesterday.
Because we like the Geelong team. I talked to them before the race, after the race. There's a lot of love between Bendigo and Geelong, like blue-collar country teams.
You have well and truly shown that you are competitive in Division 1. But that doesn't change the fact that all the other Division 1 teams got there by earning their place, and Bendigo didn't.
Can you imagine if we were doing this, what we're doing this year, though, in Divi 2?
Yeah, don't care.
Oh, it would have made a whole
care.
joke of the whole situation, the whole race.
There is no joke because you would have been there the year after and you would have earned your spot and everyone's happy.
No way.
And tradition survives, and those that are patient and earn their way in will continue to be in. And those that don't get little heads up and their victories seem a little shallower.
This is the exact official stuff you're just talking about in your Moose on the Loose. Things are
No,
going
it's
to change.
not at all.
Yeah, old school officials that always do stuff the black and white way. Anyway,
I'm happy that you guys got in via the COVID clause.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it, the COVID clause?
COVID clause. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Good way to put it. Alright, show's over. See you on the weekend, Moose. See you next weekend, Croaks.
Have a good week, boys.
See you, boys. Bye. Lululemon believe that running is discovery. It's about the feeling you find along the run route. Freedom, peace, euphoria. Discover their technical run collection at lululemon.com.au.